Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you all doing? Are some people just born more lucky than others, more privileged than others, while some are just doomed to have poor outcomes? Maybe it's genetics. Maybe it's the whole social economic environment that they're in. Maybe they grew up in a really hard, poor place. Maybe there's a lot of trauma in the household from a young age. Now, I know that many of us have, including myself, thought about this, and so difficult, so painful it is to kind of feel like you're doomed by genetics, you're damned by your DNA or your circumstances. Hang tight. I'm going to go into my story, what's helped me find a new sense of peace after feeling stuck and doomed by my circumstances, childhood, and so on. So if you end up by liking the video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, share it around. It helps a ton when it comes to getting this channel out to a wider audience by means of the algorithm. So thanks ahead of time. So thank you for joining me today. I'm in Florence, Oregon, on the beautiful Oregon coast. The sun is out. It's nice. It's really gloomy and cloudy in Oregon a lot of the year, so it's nice to be able to get some sunshine. Anywho, me personally, I'll start with a little bit of background. I grew up feeling miserable. I felt dumb. I felt like there was just something wrong with me. I couldn't focus as a kid. I had seizures growing up. I couldn't focus in school. I didn't do well in school. And it made me just kind of want to give up from a young age. So I saw people around me focusing well, studying well. I was literally called stupid and worthless by some people close to me, and I forgive them. And it's just not like to call them out or anything like that. But this is, just my wounds, my trauma. And the funny thing is, this person, my mother, her dad did the same thing to her. So she kind of just passed along what she was told onto me and my brother. And my sister was a smart one and always praised. And I love my sister. She is smart, good work and all that. But anyway, don't want to get too much into that. I came to a place in life where I'm happy now, and I don't feel doomed by my past. Other things happened to me when I was a kid too, like beaten, molested, and stuff. And I worked a lot from like 10 years old on my Saturdays and summer vacations with my brother and my dad. Super hot summers, like 110, 115 degrees, Southern California on the edge of the desert, and doing landscaping work. And I felt like other kids, oh wow, they have it so lucky. They get to spend the Saturdays watching cartoons and playing sports and so on and hanging out. And me, I was just, but what it is what it is. Now I look back and I have a better attitude about it, or more integrated attitude, let's say a healed attitude. And it wasn't like that in the beginning though. So like into my early 20s, late teens, things got worse and worse. I felt those type of thoughts like I'm just doomed and had a bad background led me to feeling really depressed and even like suicidal and stuff like that. And I was doing drugs. That's my way, just like many people, to numb their feelings, numb the pain. And I didn't go to college. I couldn't focus. I just didn't feel worthy enough. And so I had breaking points. I even had a near-death experience when I was 21, and that was a big catalyst for me to change and want to do better. Like I had a vision of God, and it was pure love energy and really cheesy, right? Like research near-death experiences, and I'm sure that you've probably heard from somebody else what those type of things can entail, right? And it was something that made me feel like I had clear messages during that experience that I could have a better life and things could get better. And from then I really made a pledge at least, okay, I'm going to try to work on myself. I don't know how, what, or if I'm going to, but at least there's hope. So that hope was kind of like a inner spark that kept me going, even though I had a lot of ups and downs still at that time, right? Things didn't just get like better in a linear way from A to Z. I had a lot of slips and falls, and I was working too with some psychedelics like mushrooms mainly, so for therapeutic purposes, because I heard of how they had impacted people's mental health in a positive way. And me, I was kind of like at that place where I was willing to try anything at that time. And if you have been there, you get what I mean. And even at first, it was things like conventional medication that I tried. They told me I was like bipolar and depression and all that stuff, and those didn't really work for me. So I tried other means, right? The mushrooms, and that got me really digging deep and got me into the mind. And mental reprogramming is a big topic in that community, right? Like you can actually change your outlook on life because your thoughts impact your feelings, which can affect your actions or lack of action, and a lot of was the case for me. And that chain of command, you can get in front of it. And I learned about meditating at that time and yoga, and I basically started practicing it every single day, morning and night, and eating healthier. The psychedelics kind of encouraged those behaviors. That's why a lot of people that are into psychedelics, if you didn't realize, if you didn't notice, are also into things like meditating and yoga and eating healthy and stuff like that. The people that are using them for, like growth and healing and stuff, not the people just like partying with them and all that. So after time, just like in meditation classes or Buddhism or whatever, they'll say how thoughts are just little messengers and they're not really who we are. Like we identify with our thoughts for some reason and really take them so seriously. And I believed the thoughts in my head. I believed what other people told me. And I started learning that I don't have to identify with those thoughts, that I'm not good enough and that I'm not worthy and other people just have it, better than me. And I realized how that just stopped me. That made me feel like crap. And then I just wouldn't try, because also when I tried, I failed in the past. But the thing is, I also started learning that everybody struggles in the beginning, actually. The people that make it in life, make it, whatever that means, emotionally, spiritually, financially, they just don't give up. And me, now that I had a sense of hope inside of me, I didn't let myself give up anymore. And that was a key pivoting change for me, for sure. Like, I don't need to give up and believe that I'm a failure just because I slipped or I made some mistakes, or like, let's say I tried something and it didn't work out, or a relationship didn't work out, or a job didn't work out. It's not because of me. It's just because you really got to stay persistent in life, and that becomes like a muscle and it becomes more natural. So I was really working on my confidence at that time. I remember I became a personal trainer in 2018, and that was when I was already growing and healing a lot. I was sober for a while, and I was feeling a lot better and away from the triggers, the pain that I was feeling so much, and I was integrating the childhood experiences and not feeling so much like a victim to that anymore at that point. And I was becoming a personal trainer, and I remember that those wounds of mine started getting tested again, and I realized that these wounds get tested in cycles, right? Like I felt like I made a lot of progress, and then boom, now it's on to the next level. It's like a video game. Now you're on to level 2, level 3, and there's harder bosses, and they might bring out your old wounds again, but that's part of it. And just learning that that's what life is all about, is strength training, mental strength training, spiritual strength training. And the fitness journey really taught me that too. Just like in physical exercise, mental and spiritual trauma integration growth is just like strength training for the body. Basically, the more you do it, the stronger you get at it, and it's uncomfortable. That's a thing too, and just not resisting that. So that's the problem that I realized with thinking that other people had it better than me, or I thought that other people didn't struggle, right? And I thought that, and that's the thing. And I started meeting a lot of rich people when I was a personal trainer, because I was in that San Francisco Bay Area where there's a lot of tech people, and these were my clients a lot. I started seeing that they had different kind of struggles, right? Like their parents would lock them in the bathroom for hours if they didn't get an A on their test, and even though they weren't poor, they had stuff like that happen, and or they were just like forced to be very competitive with their siblings, and they still got beaten and molested sometimes too. Because I got very close to these clients, and you learn a lot about them. They open up to you, and that time I was also just testing, like I was about to mention, my self-worth issues and my feeling worthy, because at that time a lot was changing in my life. I started trying to believe in myself and manifesting a better life. That is such a popular term these days, but just changing by your thoughts and your feelings and visualizing your dream life and happiness, that you can attract and manifest that. And yes, that's true, but what first attracts and manifests is the things that are kind of in the way and in your soul that are keeping you from getting there. In my case, it was like the self-worth wounds and the traumas and stuff like that. I met my wife, and that was my girlfriend, in that same year, 2018. That was a big catalyzing year for me too. So like her, she is so beautiful and she's so smart, and I didn't feel good enough for her at first. And I was just like, thankfully I was already meditating and I was journaling and being like, wow, Lewis, no, you are worthy. You're a good communicator, and you're very patient, and you're kind. And I wrote down all my good qualities on paper, and I'm smart, and telling myself that I am smart, just in different ways, just because I'm not smart in calculus and a mathematician or anything. I'm more emotionally smart. I'm more practical. I'm a hard worker. And so all these things helped me feel more worthy to be with my girlfriend at the time, and getting clients at the time. Personal training, in a lot of settings, most settings, you don't just start working at a gym and they give you a bunch of clients. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to actually get clients through, like offering them a free fitness consultation to check their posture and stuff, and then you can offer them a package. Hey, train with me for 3 months, this much money a month, this much money a session. And that was so difficult for me. I was like, it's a little bit salesy in some elements. That's one area that I wasn't feeling that good about. And it was mostly because I didn't feel like I was worthy enough to be paid to do something that I like to do. Oh my gosh, so huge. And with practice, though, I was writing my affirmations and repeating, I'm worthy, I'm good enough. So this is one thing I'd like to share. Have affirmations, write them down. I am worthy. That's simple. That's a simple one that so many people have different struggles and different wounds, but a lot of the core unifying themes behind a lot of these different wounds is self-worth, self-confidence. And this does, like I said, get stronger with practice. It's like a muscle. Keep doing it and it becomes more natural. Now, to 2026, 8 years later, I feel more confident naturally. Like I can speak without my voice shaking. Like I know my worth. And there's a line you don't want to cross into cockiness, right? A lot of people, especially in the spiritual community, be humble. And yes, there's a time to be humble and a time to learn. Always learn for the rest of your life. That's the thing. But where you are strong, know it. Know your worth. And the thing is a lot of manipulative people and controlling people that want you to stay small so they can feel better. And that's just toxic. That's why a lot of us had resistance to feeling worthy and confident, because it was just people around us when we grew up that were very controlling and manipulative, that wanted to try to make their life easier. So by making you feel worthless and small, they were having an easier time controlling you and getting their way. So recognizing that kind of gives you the importance, the value of knowing your confidence and worth, so that other people don't walk all over you, right? That's a really good reason. The other reasons, like I said, you can do what you love and feel worthy to do what you love. Feel worthy to have the job that you love. Feel worthy to be with the partner that you want to be with. Feel worthy to be happy, even. I felt that way. So now I know that a lot of people, even though I had these struggles, so what about the kids in Africa or other poor countries South America, parts of the world, or even in America, there's really rural areas. What about their child? The thing is you don't want to compare yourself to other people. Like, no matter where you're at in life, even those people, there's happy, poor people. We've all seen it, right? Like these videos of these, it's a little windy over here, really poor kids and they have a smile on their face. Like, yeah, it stinks that they grew up with these different chains, these different things that made it difficult for them to thrive in a lot of ways. But the mind can be your friend or enemy in any situation. There's rich people that commit suicide all the time. It's sad. Even people that look like they have very great lives, happy lives, the dream lives, and it's just highlighting the power of the mind. So in the first place, it's better to focus on your own journey and not compare yourself. Oh, this person's privileged, that person's privileged. I did that, and it's just, it didn't fucking get me anywhere, man. Excuse my language. I don't say that word all that often, but all it did was hurt me. Putting your focus on things outside of your control, you can't control the past, but you can make do with what you have now and do the best that you can, right? Like, that's the thing. Don't focus on other people's privileges and other people's pain. And this is focus on what you can control. Let go of what you cannot. And that is another important key to basically making. And I'm happy now. Like, of course, like, things could be always better. I still have goals, but acceptance, that's like key to happiness no matter what you're at in life or where your journey is taking you. Accept where you're at now, and then things can only get better from there. That's a huge step. It might not be the long-term destination to be an acceptance, but it's a step and an important one, right? So that's all I got to say about that when it comes to feeling like other people might be more privileged or less privileged or the other. Actually, there's a point of like DNA, right? Some people get to thinking, well, it's just in my DNA, that's who I am. But that's not actually, that's only one part of the truth. It's not the whole truth. There's also RNA, which is like who you're becoming every day through your new choices, actions, and neuroplasticity is a real thing. So you can reprogram. You have a blueprint of how you were made in life, right? And you can always build forward from there. It's not the final destination. Yes, a lot of people don't change, but that's because they don't believe that they can. They don't want to, or for whatever reason. Again, like, don't focus on other people. It's all about your path, your goals, doing the best you can with what you have, where you are today, and that is good enough. Take care, everybody. Share in the comments how you feel about this kind of topic. I know it's an uncomfortable one to talk about for a lot of people. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it around to others if you enjoyed it. It helps a ton. Much love. Take care. Peace.